Hey y'all. So, I decided to make this talk video because since my health has been, I've been vlogging about my health and things like that, right? A lot of people have questions, and the main question is, did I always deal with these things? What else? Was I born with it? Did I have seizures as a child? Stuff like that. And I'm going to answer all those questions right now. My carpal tunnel acting up, so I'm trying to put this on. You know, when you're a computer nerd and play video games and crap, you gonna have carpal tunnel. Anyway, so starting out, everybody knows that I had the vertical sleeve gastrectomy back in 2019. Okay, the surgery had nothing at all to do with what is going on with me now. And a lot of people keep trying to put my condition now on the surgery, and it's not that. It is not that. Okay, I was fine. I had already lost 100 pounds. I was doing great. My back wasn't hurting. I was working 12-hour shifts at my job on my feet. Okay, I was fine. I was fine until May 1st of 2020. You want to know what happened May 1st of 2020? I got in a car accident. Yeah, the entire front of my car was off the car. I was crushed inside the car. Yeah, I was in the car. My baby was in the back seat. She was not hurt, okay? There was no damage to the back of the car. All the damage was in the front, and I took it all. I took it all. The whole front part of my car was gone, okay? My head hit the windshield. I had a cracked rib. All the airbags deployed on me. I had bruises all over my legs. I couldn't even feel my legs for a couple of hours. Like, it was a very bad car accident, right? So, couple of months down the line, I started feeling really dizzy when I would stand up. And, I didn't think much of it at first. But, like, I would stand up too quick and get really, really dizzy. And again, I would put it on, oh, maybe I didn't eat nothing. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe my sugar low or something. That's what I would put it on. But this did not happen to me before the accident, when I had already lost 100 pounds, okay, after having the surgery. So, that would happen to me here and there. So then one day, I was at work, and my back was hurting me so bad. And the whole reason I wanted to lose weight and get the vertical sleeve was to avoid back surgery, because I wanted I did not pretty much, I didn't want to be in pain no more. I have fibromyalgia, and my body was hurting all the time. My back was hurting all the time. I didn't want to be in pain no more. So I thought losing weight would help me. And it did. It did. Then that goddamn car accident happened. So after the accident, I was having these little, dizzy spells here and there. Then I was at work. This happened in September, mid to late September. I can't remember the exact date, but I put it somewhere. But I was at work and I was ringing up customers, and I was gonna tell my manager that I wanted to go home. Hold up a second. So I was gonna tell my manager that I wanted to go home because I wasn't feeling well. So I was gonna wait until I got my line down and then, go home. I was gonna go home. So they saw me like walking around the store with my back hurting because I had like cut my light off and went to go buy some Tylenol or something. That wasn't helping me. I took 4 Tylenol, 4 650 milligram Tylenol, and that ain't do shit. And my managers, they was like, "What's wrong with you?" I said, "My back is hurting, but I'ma just finish my line and then I might go home." This is what I'm saying to them. So I'm trying to finish the line and my back was just really, really hurting. And then the next thing I know, I felt this rush like come up my chest and then up back here. And then it just went black and I fell. I fell in front of everybody. Like I was handing the lady her receipt and then I just was on the floor. And I started crying and I wasn't crying because of the fall. I was crying because I was embarrassed. And I was like, shit. Here we go. This is, what I was thinking. Because I thought I had a handle on my condition and I did not. And it's frustrating when you're trying to be fine, you want to be healthy, and you're not. It's extremely frustrating. So they called the ambulance, okay? I went to the hospital and then my face ended up being stuck like this for a couple hours. So I had a mild stroke. But now, even when I'm having seizures, my face will sometimes get stuck like this. That's like one of my tics. When I'm about to have a seizure, is like it's one of the signs. So yeah, I was off work for a couple of weeks. I don't remember how long. And I went back to work. And when I went back to work, a customer was yelling at me. I was sitting down in a chair, right? I was sitting down in a chair and the customer yelled at me and slammed his hand on my register. And when he did that, I had my mask on and my face started twitching again like this. It's hard to do it, but my face was doing this like it was trying to get stuck again. And I was thinking, shit, I ain't gonna be able to work if this is happening while I'm doing this just from this customer. I ain't gonna be able to work here. Like, that's what I was just thinking. Then October 13th, good old October 13th of 2020, your girl had a heart attack. What? Yes, child. I was standing up, eating fish and grits with my family, laughing. And my stepdad, he was like, "Harriet, you okay?" Because I was swaying a little bit, but I didn't notice. I was just laughing. And I was like, "Yeah." And then I hit the floor. And then it started from there. I don't want to relive that, but I did talk about it in my previous video. So if you want to go back, you could watch it. I don't want to relive that. Okay. So, yeah, that happened. And I didn't go back to work. I have not worked in over a year. Okay. Shit started getting worse and worse after that, and they could not find what was wrong with me. Then the seizures started, and they did a CT scan of my brain, and at first they told me it looks like I have a tumor. So they scheduled me for, hold on a second. So they scheduled me for an MRI, and they found out it was not a tumor, it was swelling on my brain, which is most likely from the car accident. Swelling on my brain. So they relieved the swelling on my brain, told me in a couple of weeks I should feel somewhat back to normal. Said 6 weeks. 6 weeks passed, I was still having seizures. So after that was up, I had another MRI of my brain done. There's a little black dot. They don't know what it is, but they think it could be residual from the edema, from the swelling on my brain. So that could possibly be the reason that I'm still having seizures. Okay? Brain damage. So I hit my head in the accident, right? So I told y'all that after the accident, every time I got up, I would get dizzy and stuff like that, and I started passing out. I passed out at work, and it was one other time I passed out after that, and I didn't know that I passed out until I thought about it later on, because it happened like that, and I was back in a second. But I was home, and I was standing up from the bed. I got real dizzy, and the next thing I know, I fell back in the bed. But it happened so quick, I didn't know that I passed out. So I didn't really think too much about it, because it happened so quick. I was just like, what the hell was that? What was that? So anyway, I kept going to a neurologist. My neurologist said, I don't think anything is like wrong with your, neurologically, I don't think anything is wrong. The seizures you're having appear to be non-epileptic seizures. He said, but I think you have something wrong with your heart. I think you have a heart condition. And I was like, what you talking about? So he sent me to a cardiologist. So the cardiologist sent me to get a tilt table test because, the fainting and all that. I had explained all that shit to her. So she sent me to get a tilt table test. I went and got the tilt table test, and it was positive. A positive tilt table test means that you have some sort of heart condition, right? So they told me to increase my salt. Basically, the tilt table test, I fainted during the test. That's how it was positive. They put you on a board, and they lift your body up and move you in different positions, and if you faint, it's positive. I fainted. So yeah, they told me to increase my salt intake until I saw my cardiologist again. So I had an appointment with the cardiologist, but I ended up back in the hospital. So the cardiologist who approved me for my surgery, because there's steps you have to go through to get approved for the VSG. They don't just do it on you. There are tests that need to be done to make sure your body can go through with the surgery, because it's a major surgery. You have to see a pulmonologist. You have to see a cardiologist. They test your heart and everything like that. You got to get a sleep study. Okay, you got to get blood work done. You got to do 6 months of nutritional stuff so they could teach you how to eat, make sure you're eating correctly and things of that nature. It is not an easy process. Okay, they don't just do it. You don't just go in there and say, hey, cut up my stomach, I want to lose weight. There is a process. Okay, this is why I keep telling everybody it ain't got shit to do with the damn surgery, even though y'all keep thinking it do. You know, my sister was yelling at me, why did you get that surgery? It wasn't the fucking surgery that did this to me. It was the fucking accident. And I keep telling y'all this, okay? Bam. So, boom, boom, bam. The doctor who approved me for my cardiologist who approved me for surgery, he said, I think you have POTS syndrome. He said, you know, I was looking over your paperwork and stuff like that. He said, have you ever heard of that? And I was like, no. He said, I think you have POTS. So he said, I'm going to put that in your paperwork, and I want you to see your cardiologist that you go to. And so I was like, okay. You know, I had already had the tilt table test done. I told him it was positive, and he was like, yeah, it sounds like you have POTS. He said, but I'm not your cardiologist, but I'm going to put it in your paperwork. I'm going to notate it and things like that, right? So, again, I was supposed to go see my cardiologist, and I went to her office, and I'm waiting there, and my limbs started to get cold, and I knew what that meant. So I stood up to go tell the front desk person, hey, I need to lay down or I'm gonna pass out. She was like, what? Just go sit back down. And I stared at her, and then the next thing I know, it was black. I hit the damn floor in the office in front of everybody. That's so fucking embarrassing. It's embarrassing. She sent me to the hospital. I was there for like 4 days. She said, it definitely looks like you may have something called POTS. She said that. And I was just like, that's what the other doctor said. I don't know what it is. So I looked it up. I have all the symptoms of it. So I was looking up to see, how do you get POTS? Where does POTS come from? POTS can come from a viral infection. It can come from pregnancy. What else? Some other stuff. But the main thing that caught my attention where POTS can come from, head trauma. It can come from head trauma. So I was like, oh, okay. It could come from head trauma. There you go, right there. I have all the symptoms, every single symptom, every single one of them. If I poop too hard, I pass out. If I have an orgasm, I pass out. If I run too fast, I pass out. If I exercise too hard, I pass out. Too much adrenaline, I pass out. I can't drink alcohol anymore. I can't have too much caffeine. It speeds up my heart and I'll have a seizure and I'll pass out. So yeah, you know, not a seizure, I'll pass out. So yeah, too much adrenaline causes me to pass out. POTS. Don't you love it? Don't you love POTS syndrome? Anyway, so I told my mom never heard of it. And I happened to come across a video, because you know Facebook be listening to our conversations and shit. So I happened to come across a video on Facebook of a girl who had POTS, and she was dealing with the same shit I was dealing with. I said, bitch, I'm doing, this is me. Like, I'm dealing with this too. Like, I freaking faint a couple of times a day. I'm doing this, the same shit I'm dealing with. Same shit. So yeah, then my cardiologist decided she don't think I have POTS. First she said I did, then she was saying, no, I don't think it's that anymore. I'm like, bitch, and then so when she said that, I was just like, I'm not about to play these games with you, lady. Like, I'm not. So I spoke to my neurologist and I told him about my POTS diagnosis. He said, I suspected that. That's why I sent you to the cardiologist in the first place. He said, I suspected that. Every other doctor suspected that I had POTS, but nobody said nothing. Okay, they was just waiting for the confirmation from a cardiologist. So I went back on my paperwork. I went back on my paperwork in my chart, because with Memorial Healthcare you can, you know, look over all your paperwork, all your hospital stays and stuff like that. You can look over the medical notes and whatever else. So I went back and I looked over all that stuff, and in January of this year, they put their suspected POTS syndrome, but they did not tell me this. They put it there in my notes. So they suspected that I had POTS since January of this year. So yeah, when I told my neurologist that, he put me on the POTS medication. And now, hold up a second. Oh my goodness, my child, Lord. Anyway, so he put me on the medication for POTS, and my POTS, it's called Midodrine. He put me on that, and the fainting has improved, but it didn't stop completely, because it doesn't cure it. It just manages it a little bit better than what you would be without the medication, if you get what I'm saying. So my seizures were non-epileptic. Now we going to the seizure part of what I be dealing with. So my seizures were considered to be non-epileptic after I was given a bunch of EEGs and stuff like that. So they were non-epileptic. So they put me on seizure medication. I'm on 2 different types of seizure medication. I'm on Lamictal and I'm on lorazepam. And yeah, Lamictal and lorazepam. So I'm on both of those. And what the fuck was I about to say? What was I about to say? Hold up a second. I remember now. So they put me on those seizure medications, and my seizures were considered non-epileptic. I said that. So what the fuck was I about to say? It's like I had the thought and now the thought gone. Hold up. Okay, so yeah, I would be having auras and stuff like that. Like, you know, signs that I'm about to have a seizure and things like that. It was pretty difficult to deal with. Like, I just got put on Lamictal, and it is better that I'm on it. Like, I'm having seizures every day, but they don't last as long as they used to, and some of them are not as strong as they used to be. So the medication does help. It lessens the intensity of them sometimes. Recently, like a couple of days ago, actually, I had a really bad seizure, like a really, really bad one. I can't remember too much of it, but from what my daughter told me, all I did was scream and cry, and she was afraid. She didn't know what to do, so she called my cousin. My cousin reached my mom because my mom's phone is off. It's back on now, but that's another story for another day. I don't feel like getting into. But anyway, so my daughter couldn't reach my mom, so my daughter called my cousin. My cousin went down to my mom's house. She wasn't home, so my cousin called the ambulance anyway, and the ambulance came here. They were talking to me. I couldn't respond back. My eyes were dilated so much that they were almost black, apparently, from what they told me when I came to in the ambulance. Because I remember I was filling out paperwork when it started because I felt my hands shaking. And then I woke up in the ambulance. My daughter told me I was screaming and crying. And so, after that, they treated me so good at this hospital. Like, I love this hospital near my apartment. They treated me so good. The hospital from where my mom lives at treated me very horribly when I went there. But there is a new development now with my seizures. Apparently, they are showing up as epileptic seizures now. So that's a problem for me because they might take my fucking license. Yeah, so I found that out when I went to the hospital. It freaked me the fuck out because it showed up as an epileptic seizure this time, when before they were showing up as non-epileptic seizures. So that freaked me out, but I think it has to happen a couple more times before they consider it to be epilepsy. That it has to show up a couple more times. So I'm just gonna hope that it doesn't, so they don't take my fucking license. By the grace of God, I have not had a seizure while driving. I don't drive often, only when I have to, like when I necessarily have to. Other than that, I don't drive. I get everything delivered. My groceries, everything, I get delivered. So yeah. What else? I done forgot what else I was gonna say. That's another thing. Like, having these seizures, like, my memories are getting messed up. I can't remember shit. Like, my mind is like one track right now. Like, I could be talking about something, having a thought about something, and I lose the thought just that fucking quick, like a damn fish. Like, it's ridiculous, and it scares me because I really be like thinking about something, you know, having words to say, and I can't say them because I forgot. You know, and y'all see it happened in the video, you know, but that happens to me all day. Like, I forget stuff all day. I say I'm gonna do something and then I forget. I have to set constant reminders on my watch and everything. Shit is bad. Like, my memory's horrible now. Horrible. And I think that's just from the damage the brain damage, and then, you know, the constant seizures. So yeah, a lot of y'all, you know, y'all were curious about it, and this is just my explanation of it. I did not have any type of issues like this before. This all started after my car accident. It started after that, you know, but it just so happened that I had, you know, the vertical sleeve surgery, so everybody was blaming it on that for getting the car accident. Like, I hit my head. I had swelling on my freaking brain from the accident. Like, why would a surgery on my stomach, first of all, why would a surgery on my stomach cause me to have seizures? Why? Why? How does that relate to that? Why would a surgery on my stomach cause me to pass out? Why does that relate to that? It doesn't. But you want to know what it could relate to? Fucking brain damage when you get your head smashed in a fucking windshield and you have swelling on your fucking brain that looks like a fucking tumor, okay? And when they first told me that they thought it was a tumor, I was scared as shit. I'm like, a brain tumor? What the fuck? I was crying, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get through this. But then they said, hey, it's not a tumor, it's edema, like it's swelling. We could fix that. And they did, but now it's like a little tiny black dot on my brain still there, and they think that could be why I'm still having seizures. So yeah, it ain't had nothing to do with the damn surgery. Like, cause you know, I talked about my surgery, and I wish I never said nothing, because not everybody just, you needed, it's that surgery, it was that surgery. It was not. It wasn't. And my mama, she told everybody that she think it was the surgery. My uncle died believing that I was sick from the surgery I had, and it was not even that. I can't believe my uncle is dead. I know that was so random. This year was just so fucked up, y'all. Lost my sister, and I lost my uncle. I lost, like, my quality of life. Like, I can't work anymore. I have no income. This shit is tough. But, you know, I try, like, I try not to let it, like, bother me so much, but damn, it bothers the shit out of me, but I try not to let it. I'm grieving so much, like, and I was trying to tell my selfish ass sister, because she was so worried about me not calling her after our uncle died. And I'm like, do you realize I'm grieving too? Like, I ain't want to talk like that. I didn't want to talk to nobody like that. I'm fucking grieving a lot of shit. Like, I'm still grieving my fucking sister being dead, okay? I'm still grieving that. And now my uncle, who was like a father to me, is dead. So it's like, I'm not even grieving him like he was an uncle. I'm grieving him like I lost a parent. That shit is tough, you know? I had so many losses this year. I said I was not gonna fucking cry, and look at me. Shit is hard. This was a hard ass year. This was a hard ass year. Like, ugh. But yeah, like I was trying to tell my sister, she's selfish. Like she wasn't thinking, maybe Harriet is grieving too. Maybe she not taking it well. Whatever. You know, think of other people. Think of how somebody else could be feeling about something, not just yourself. I ain't gonna call you right away. Like I don't want to talk. Like sometimes I don't want to fucking talk. You know, I don't call people like that all the time. Like, and my true friends know that. Like my best friend, I can go fucking months without talking to her, and we cool. Like we're cool. She know me. But yeah, my damn sister, she counting to my 23 days you ain't called me, so I called you. And you didn't do this, you didn't. Okay, like that's what you worried about? Like you don't think I'm fucking grieving a lot of shit myself? I lost my sister, my uncle, my life. Like I didn't lose my life, but my life is completely different, and I'm stressed the fuck out about it. Like I want to work, but how the fuck am I gonna work like this? I'm having fucking seizures all the damn time. I'm passing the fuck out at my job that I loved, okay? And I had to leave because of this shit happening. So, like, I'm grieving a lot of shit, you know? It's not just you. You ain't the only one grieving. So much changed, and it's hard. It's hard. Like, I had back surgery this year, and a whole bunch of shit happened to me after that. Like, I've fallen maybe over 50 fucking times since having my back surgery, and I think I fucked it up. Because my back has been hurting non-stop since my last major seizure. Because I had a seizure today. I was fighting one off today. I had one yesterday, and the day before that, and the day before that. I've been having them every day. But that big one that I had recently, that I was in the hospital for, my daughter said I fell. My mom said it looked like my face was swollen. She thought I hit my lip or something because my lip was swollen. I don't remember if I did or not. I would have to ask my daughter if I fell or, whatever. I would have to ask my daughter. But I don't know what I did to my back, but it's hurting like crazy in the area where I had the surgery at. So I'm gonna have to go and get my back checked, see if I fucked up anything. Hopefully I did not. I think I did, because it hurts a lot, and I'm like fucking eating Tylenol and ibuprofen like it's candy, and it's not doing anything because my fucking back still hurts. I've been, using a heating pad. It still hurts. So yeah. I hope I don't. I hope I ain't fuck it up. I think I might have though. But anyway, yeah, man. That's basically my shit. That's what's been going on. That's how all this happened. All this started. A car accident. Brain damage. So yeah, it did not happen from my BSG at all. It had nothing to do with it. Nothing at all to do with it. And I would like for y'all to stop saying that, because it didn't. It ain't had nothing to do with it at all. Nothing. And then the fact that people thought it did is what blows my mind, because like, a seizure is something that's happening in your brain. It's not happening from your fucking stomach. Okay? It's not happening from your stomach. It's not happening from your intestines. It's happening from your brain. I hit my head on the windshield. I had swelling on my brain. It happened from my brain, not from my stomach. But yeah, I have brain damage. There you go.